ltid TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on, you foxes!
Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
Good evening, fellow Fox fans. How the devil are we? It's Thursday night. I'm here again. I'm like a rash. You can't get rid of me. Scratch me, and I'm still here. Maybe try a cream. I don't know. Got a match tomorrow night, Newcastle United. The Geordies are coming, and for those of you like me that are working our way through the Vikings, the Northmen are coming. Not only that, but also, of course, we've got a little matter of an FA Cup coming up. Did you get your tickets? We're going to be speaking to somebody today who hasn't got tickets himself. And I don't know why I'm friends with him then. I should be friends with his wife, I think it's his cousin, his son, because they've all got tickets. I was very surprised to get an email quite last night. I don't know if you got an email, but as you know, I'm based on the South Coast, and I used to have a season ticket. I don't anymore, but I am sort of a Foxes Club member, and I was very careful how I said that, Craig. But I got an email inviting me to go in for a ballot. I got this back, though. I was unsuccessful, but, for 2 hours, I could dream. But that's what we do as Leicester fans, isn't it? We dream. I just got to look at the wall and look at these. It's my little mini collection of, I've got the full set now. I'm just waiting for the Leicester one to arrive for this season for all the cup final programmes. I'll tell you what, it's quite fun looking through the back. 1949, and they were still advertising beer. Some things never change. Good evening. This is Leicester Till I Die. I'm Chris. How are you doing?
Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hello, Matt Elliott here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here, ex-Fox in the Box.
Be sure to watch and listen to Chris on Leicester Till I Die TV.
Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube.
And Leicester Till I Die TV.
Watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels.
For the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Up the Foxes.
Come on, you foxes!
Cheers.
What does the Fox say? Well, that's what the ex-Foxes say. Subscribe. We are on live at the moment on the Twitter sphere. If you're on there at Leicester TID, I nearly changed the name, but I stuck with it in the end. Facebook, the group, obviously Leicester Till I Die, and YouTube. Please give us a subscribe at Leicester Till I Die TV. This is show number 3 out of 4 for me today. I'd like to thank Brad for stepping in and taking an extra show off me. Otherwise, I've had 5. Anybody would think I like talking about Leicester. Somebody else who likes talking about Leicester, a bit of a wise old owl. Bring him in. It's Craig. Good evening, Craig.
Good evening, Chris. Good evening, everybody. How are we?
Not so bad. And what's this? You can't get a ticket, but the rest of your family can.
It does seem that way, although, there's always tomorrow. And, I'm a point short of that one as well. So, yeah, it's not looking great. But I'm really, really, really pleased from the bottom of my heart from everyone who's got a ticket. Did that sound sincere?
No, no,
Oh,
it
right.
did not. No. You need to work on your sincerity, Craig. If I'm honest with you, I mean, I do get why people are upset, obviously, and say for a couple of hours, I'm thinking like, oh my god, I could be at Wembley. I mean, most of us in recent history. I mean, I've been a couple of times. I've been to Old Wembley, like yourself, to watch the old League Cup finals under Martin O'Neill. You were probably like me. You were at the Charity Shield when we played Manchester United. So, we have been, and it was sod's law that we were going to get to Wembley for the final this year with everything that's gone on, and it will be probably sod's law. This is the one we win. I can take that. I can take if we win it and we're not there. But it's good that we've actually got some fans there. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers. Is it 6,000, 7,000, something like that? At the end of the day, go back 3 or 4 weeks, and that figure is going to be nil.
That's true. Yeah. So we have got to be grateful that there are some fans there. I know there was I think a couple of thousand from each team for the Carabao Cup, and even they made a difference. The crowd noise sort of echoed around there. So 6,000 from each team. Although I think with 9,000 odd tickets going to local residents and NHS in London, I think there's every chance there may be a few more Chelsea fans than there are Leicester fans. But good luck to everyone who has got a ticket. As I say, I don't think anything that the club could have done would have kept everyone happy. In normal circumstances, every season ticket holder and away priority points person would have got a ticket. So they've had to find a way. It's not helped me, in this particular way as a long suffering season ticket holder, but yes, we've got lots of fans there.
If it had been a normal final, there'd have been obviously a lot more tickets to go round, and we would have, you'd have taken all the season ticket holders and some for sort of our allocation. But like you say, it is what it is, and I just think like maybe it's destined that this is our season because of the fact, like you said, that we're there and we can't see it. Although having watched Chelsea against Real Madrid, I'm a little bit worried.
Yeah, I mean, getting to the finals has been a test of endurance for us, and getting a ticket is a test of endurance as well. And I've got a feeling that the 90 minutes against Chelsea is going to be a test of endurance in its own right. But I mean, there's a couple of things. I was very disappointed with the fact that all fans are being forced to take coaches, and not only that, the fact that they're being forced to pay £40 for the privilege, and I'm guessing that's because they can't sit people next to each other. It's got to be a socially distanced coach, I would assume, but I'm not sure, because £40 is a lot of money, and apparently it's already been subsidised. Now, I sent a little Twitter message to our local MP about it, because for me, the being forced to go on the buses is part of the government's test. This is a test event. So if it is a government test, I don't understand why the fans are being forced to foot the bill for it. Surely that part of it should be subsidised by the government if it's part of a government test.
Yeah, like I think, like we say, we're not going to please everybody, are we? And we've got to take it. At the end of the day, if you're lucky enough to get a ticket, would you pay the £40, or would you sooner not pay the £40 and not go? That's the. But I do get what you're saying. But there's just no way of I don't think pleasing everybody, is there?
No, it's true. And I did see someone online today say, over the past God knows how many years, we would have all moved heaven and earth to get hold of a cup final ticket to see us play in a cup final. And now we're being asked to do it. So I guess we can't complain too much.
No, but come on, we're Leicester fans, aren't we? So I suppose at the end of the day, we are going to complain, aren't we? But so nope. I'm going to come on to that in 1 second. That popped up earlier than I thought. Facebook user here, not sure who you are, mate. Stick your name at the end, but you said we will win.
I really hope that's Mason Mount.
You hope what? Sorry.
I really hope that's Mason Mount who's made that comment.
Yeah, exactly. Do us a favour. I don't know if you saw it, I haven't got it handy here, but Andy King's tweet, a picture of him, Ben Chilwell and Riyad Mahrez, and I knew one of us would play in the Champions League final. You got to love him. How many of these do you remember then, Craig?
To be honest, none. You may be surprised that even for the 69 final, I was still fairly young. I was alive for it, but I was still fairly young, and not living in a household at the time that were really into football. It sort of passed me by. So I don't remember any of them. Obviously, I've seen clips of them in subsequent years, but at the time, none for me. Chris, how about you?
I just about remember the first one. I remember at half time having my bottle. No. I was 8 when that was played, and I remember it was black and white. I remember sort of watching it, but that's all. Do you know what I mean? I don't remember any reactions or anything like that. But I want to bring this up. If this will work this time, I want to, because I don't know if you saw this in the Sun today, but it was trying to explain what happens if Chelsea finish 5th and win the Champions League and Arsenal win the Europa League. Will West Ham miss out? And to be honest with you, have a look at that page. Chelsea and Man City will meet Istanbul in the Champions League final, although it might now be Villa Park, apparently. Arsenal, obviously, if they win tonight, could face Manchester United in the Europa League final. The silly thing is that if Arsenal get through to the final and win it, and yet they finish 10th in the Premier League, they will be in the Champions League.
Yep.
You know, how silly is that? And then it is possible, depending where we finish, that we could miss out. It says there, England has 7 places with the top 4 in the Prem qualifying for the Champions League. That's for Europe. 5th in the table, and the FA Cup winners go into the Europa League. And from this season onwards, the Carabao Cup winners will go into the new Europa Conference League. This means the team finishing 6th take the Conference League spot with a place in the final playoff round at the end of August. Hang on, but Leicester and Chelsea are also playing in the FA Cup final. How does that impact things? Assuming both of them finish in the top 6, likely but not yet confirmed, it means 6th place takes a Europa League place, and 7th in the table means the Conference League. That's clear, isn't it?
You know, when we were talking about tests of endurance.
Yes, I know. I actually read it. I mean, guys, go and have a look. I'm not going to read it all out for you, but you can see it is there. It's on the Sun. It's on the Leicester City page. Spot a bother. What happens if Chelsea finish 5th to win Champions League, Arsenal win Europa League, West Ham miss out? And I read it, and I've got to be honest with you, I was none the wiser when it ended. I think we've just got to do the best we can, finish as high as we can, and we'll see what happens. I think the biggest threat to us would be Arsenal winning the Europa League, though.
Yeah. I agree, and it was interesting there. But obviously, from reading that, they assume that we're going to finish 3rd, which is a positive. Yeah. Doesn't actually affect anything, but they clearly think we're going to finish 3rd, so it won't affect us. But yeah, Arsenal's the main danger of that.
I am going to move on in a second, but it's just, is it not silly that, somebody 10th finishes in the Champions League? When I was growing up, and it wasn't the Champions League then, when I was a lad than us, I'm gonna go into Geordie. I was speaking to a Geordie last night. A Geordie said, "I got a Geordie after my eye, man." I'm gonna end up talking like that. It was the champions. Whoever finished first went into the champions, into the European Cup, whatever it was. I can't even remember what it was called, to be honest with you. And then 2nd, 3rd, 4th went into what is now the Europa League. So there's none of this finishing fourth and, ending up as in the Champions League. Let's face it, the Champions League was the forerunner, or is the forerunner, of this ECL that they tried to get going.
Yeah, it is, but at least this one isn't a closed shop. So,
No.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, I think the thing is it's only a fairly recent thing that they've given a Champions League spot to the winners of the Europa League, because they wanted to give more gravitas to the Europa League, because at the end of it, there wasn't really a reward other than a trophy for winning it. So a lot of the bigger clubs were not taking it as seriously, shall we say? And I hesitate to say the bigger clubs, but they weren't. But now the fact that it is a backdoor route almost into the Champions League, it's there, and we've got to deal with it. And as you say, we've got to just make sure that obviously we'll all have fingers crossed that Arsenal get knocked out tonight. Sorry, Miss Melina, if you're watching.
No,
but
I was actually. She did a show earlier, and I actually went. I didn't go on it, but I was in the comments, and I said, I'm torn because I like Melina. She's obviously a mod for me on here. She helps me out a lot. But I really want them to lose tonight, or at least if they get through to the final, then lose the final. But I tell you what, you can. I mean, the first question. This is a yes or no. Are Arsenal fans deluded? I mean, I thought, and this is no disrespect to Miss Melina, who isn't. She's very much says it as it is at the moment. But for me, I thought Tottenham fans were deluded. I've got to be honest with you. But I was watching the Arsenal, and they're saying Arsenal are a big club, so that basically guarantees them everything, And I'm going, well, hang on a second. Technically speaking, Bolton Wanderers are a big club. Preston North End, Blackpool are big clubs. I mean, I know Arsenal, in fairness, have been round a hell of a long time, and they on that purpose they would still be. But they say no, they're not big clubs. I mean, you can't just take what the last 20 years has done. And this is what gets me. Why should you be classed as a big club? Why should it be the top six? It's and I say I don't think we will break into the top six. I think we'll just make it, if we carry on like this, the top seven.
I think what they're struggling to come to terms with is the fact that the Premier League is changing, and we know that the more money that is in the Premier League, the better the teams will become, and therefore it will get more difficult to be in the top four. That's just the nature of it, and they have to get used to it now. The fact that the sort of middle to lesser teams have more money than the majority of other teams in Europe, bar the top 3, 4, 5 in each of the top leagues, so they can go and pinch all the best players from around Europe now. So it's bound to happen that year on year, the Premier League strength in depth goes deeper down the table. So it is going to be difficult for them. And unfortunately, they just have to get used to it. They are a big club. They're not a big team.
Indeed. Rob, Champions League is in our hands, and if we miss out, it's our fault. I was talking to the Newcastle fan earlier, and we talk about different ends of the table, and if we miss out, we miss out. Football is football. You win some, you lose some. That's how football works. And you climb up or you go down. And despite what the so-called Big Six wanted to do, that's how football works. But even for me, although it would be a disappointment if we did not finish in the top four again, because again we're the only team that's been there all season, and let's say we finished fifth. Yes, it will be a disappointment, but it's not the end of the world for me as a Leicester fan, because Leicester finishing fifth 2 seasons on the trot, to me is still a bloody big achievement.
It is. It's not that long ago, is it? That okay, if you take out the league winning year as a sort of almost a freak thing, we were just striving to get in Europe. And it's only the fact that we've been so high up the table in both last season and this season that our finishing spot if it was outside the top four, becomes a disappointment, as you say. And it's just that, it's a disappointment. But if you look at the season as a whole, we've already got more points than we had last season. And at the end of it, that's what you go into each season hoping for. Can you see improvement? The fact that we've had some horrendous injuries and we've still managed to cling on, it will be a disappointment, and it will be really difficult to get over that disappointment. But in the cold light of day, it has been a successful season and we have improved.
Yeah. As Ranieri so eloquently put it, I just want 41 points. Going to say good evening and welcome along to Cricket Field NTV. Hi guys, hope you're well. Do a job on the Geordie boys. My second home, this guy's from Burnley. And I love the fact that Turf Moor's got an end to the ground called the Cricket Field. likes to be different to Turf Moor and Burnley people, I'll tell you. But welcome along, mate. Thanks for joining us. Right, I think we've probably done the Europa League, Champions League, and FA Cup to bits. We have got a game on Friday, and we'll talk about that straight after this.
Leicester Till I Die TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
Indeed. Friday night, again, 2 nights on the trot. We have got the Geordies are coming to town, and it's Friday the 7th of May, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock kickoff at the KP. It's on Sky Sports, and if you want to listen rather than watch, LCFC Radio, wherever you are in the world, by tuning into the website, or BBC Radio Leicester if you want to listen to Ian Stringer and friends and you are in the county. We have got a lot of games coming up, have we not, Craig, in a short space of time? This is Friday. Man United on Tuesday. Can't believe I'm going to say this. The FA Cup next Saturday. Chelsea on the Tuesday after, and then Spurs at the weekend.
Yeah, I must admit, I thought the Man United was on Wednesday, not Tuesday, but I bowed down to your...
No. It may well be. You know me, I spent all day after what we spoke about before we came on. It quite possibly is the Wednesday, in fairness, yes.
Yeah, but we have. I mean, we've had a really tough schedule recently anyway. I think we had 4 games in 13 days or something, whereas the likes of Crystal Palace had 1. I guess that's the downside of being a successful team. I mean, Man United have got a really shocking schedule coming up with the postponement of the Liverpool game. I think they've now got like 4 games in 10 days or something. So, you know, a good result for us against Newcastle. And with the amount of games that Man United have got coming up, there's a real chance for us to go after second, let alone thinking about hanging on to third. Yeah.
As David said there, good evening, Dave, good evening, Scott, and good evening, Rob, by the way. It's a catch-22, as we'll be in the same situation next year. We must win tomorrow. Now, I was speaking, like I say, to Jay from Retro NUFC TV. And it's a new channel. Go and give him a support, give him a watch. He's a proper Geordie. You will need a Geordie England translating book, though. I'm worried about tomorrow night. I'm not going to lie. Newcastle, 9 points ahead of Fulham. They play Fulham. So basically, Fulham have got to win every game, including Newcastle. And Newcastle have got to lose every game for Fulham even to be in with a possibility of staying up. So it's not going to happen. Newcastle are safe. It's a case of whether they finish 15th, 16th, 17th. I'd be interested to see whether they turn up tomorrow thinking there's no pressure on them. A bit like when Sheffield United, once you're relegated, that pressure's off you. Yeah. Or whether they come along thinking we're on the beach already, so to speak.
Yeah, I think there is that, but at the end of it, you've still got to have some talent on the pitch, you know, and we know they have got some talent on the pitch, you know. So Maximin is real danger on his day. He's injury prone, so I wouldn't surprise me if Brendan tells them to get one or two little early digs in. Callum Wilson again on his day. I've been quite impressed with Callum Wilson this season, probably more so than I was when he was at Bournemouth. I think he leads the line well, and he plays on the last man. You're talking about someone who's Jamie Vardy-ish, maybe not as quick, but he plays right on the shoulder of the last man. Very often he gets it wrong and he runs offside. But the way that we defend sometimes, trying to play offside, that could be a danger. I think we need to just be dropping off there, not trying and be clever. We need to drop off and not give him a chance to get in behind, because he will do it. Beyond that, you look beyond that, and there's not a great deal. I saw a Geordie Newcastle website quite openly and honestly going through their team and asking if any of their team would get into the Leicester side. And I think the only one who got close was St Maximin, but they basically said no. That if everyone in our team was fit, there's no way any Newcastle players getting in our team. So yes, we all worry because we're Leicester City fans, but we shouldn't. We should have enough quality to win the game.
I think so. I mean, again, talking to Jay, he was basically, once you get past St Maxim, man, and possibly Callum Wilson, that's kind of it. That's what they pin all their hopes on. We've just seen, I've just got coming in. It looks like, I don't know whether these are related at all, but it looks like the Gamble brothers are in. Michael Gamble's got got my cup tickets. David Gamble's also got his cup tickets. And maybe I need to change my name, and we should have taken a gamble on it. Yeah. Taking a gamble on. You see what I did there? Yeah. All right, moving on.
Very good. Very good, Chris. Yeah. Well done, guys, and enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy it. We're not jealous at all, but no, seriously, have a great time. Enjoy it, and I hope it's everything that we could hope for. We're going to be talking, Rob, about Craig's team as we always do later. You'd like to see Maddison drop tomorrow, need more penetration, and he's been weak last few games. I'm not sure, because for me, and when I say whether he's in or he's out of your team, he is at least, and I know he's a few of them have been sort of, up into row Z, but he has at least been taking shots.
Mm-hmm. He has, but to be fair, I remember Jeff Schlupp taking shots. It's all right taking shots if there's not a better option on. And it was almost for me like he was trying to impress a little bit too much. There was there were opportunities, and at the very, very highest end of the game, it's about decision making. Can you make the right decision at the right time? And that's what separates out. All these players are good players. They're Premier League players. What makes a really great player is picking the right pass at the right time, taking the shot at the right time. Those moments are what change games. We saw it in a couple of games last night, over the last couple of nights. Results could have been different if people had made different decisions. So that's where I was a little bit disappointed with him. It was almost like he took those words that he said a couple of weeks ago, that he's got something to prove after the Perez party, and he was trying a little bit too hard for me. And you've got to put the team first.
With this, and I hate to say I told you so, but I do remember saying my worry was that when they came back, those players, that they might just try too hard, but. I suppose there's no easier way to forgive a player than when they score a goal. Did you see, as I haven't seen it, I don't know whether you saw Brendan Rodgers' press conference today. Because I was looking at the injuries. Somebody may be able to say earlier in the week, Johnny Evans was 75% fit, so 25% therefore unfit. My maths isn't that bad. I can work that one out. But I presume he's going to be fine to go in. Where's Morgan? Well, he's played his last game. It would be nice if he can come on for the last 2 or 3 minutes in the cup final, but I think we've seen the end of him as a sort of any significant contribution. Apart from that, Harvey Barnes and James Justin are the two, obviously only 2 misses, but they are 2 massive misses. But you look at Newcastle there; they've got more injuries than we have at the moment.
Yeah, I think we've had our fair share, though. I think every team this season is going to go through a period of having players out. Those players they're missing there. I mean, Ryan Fraser's been really disappointing for me. He could have stayed and helped Bournemouth in the last few games, but he didn't. He basically took himself out. I think almost refused to play last season in the final few games because he didn't want to get injured and ruin a move. And so he's been disappointing for me. Lascelles, for me, sometimes I would rather he plays because I think he's got a mistake in him. He's very, very up and down, Lascelles. And Shaw the same. Defensively, they've got some sound and solid defenders, but they've all got a mistake in them. And that's what I'm hoping for tomorrow, to be honest, that they make a few.
Yes, yeah. Facebook user Morgan on only if we're 3-0 up in the final. Like I say, for the last few minutes. David Gamble, am I the only one going to get you a pint in the Jolly Sailor? Yeah, I think you are, David. But if anybody else is, coming down to Poole for their holidays because they can't go abroad, Jolly Sailor, give me a message. I'll meet you in there. It's round the corner. Mine's a pint of Thatcher's or Magners. I'm not particularly fussed either way. We've got a good record against Newcastle, though, haven't we? Looking at that there, they've beaten us once in the last 5 games, and a couple of those 5-0s, 3-0s.
Yeah, we have got a good record against them. I went up to the away game a couple of seasons ago when we won 3-2. I think it was one of those rare occasions where Damari Gray scored the winner. But no, we have got a good record. We've got a decent record at home against them. As you say, that 5-0 sticks in the memory. But it's different, isn't it? This season is different. We've seen it. Away and home form is almost flipped around, and there's no real benefit to playing at home when there's no fans. So, and in many ways, you could argue that Newcastle are one of the teams who have benefited from not having fans because they do tend to get on their back when it's not going well up there. And I'm sure Mike Ashley would have been getting loads of stick if fans were in for their home game. So they've almost got away a little bit lightly this season. But we've got a good record against them, and I don't see any reason to not think that will continue.
I must admit, I remember that 5-0 game because that was the first time my son brought his now girlfriend round to watch a game of football with us, and we won 5-0. And the second game that we saw was Southampton away on a Friday night in the rain. So she kind of became a lucky mascot for quite a while. But I'm not sure whether she's actually seen Leicester lose or not. I don't think she has, But last game, 2-1, it wasn't as easy. Oh, bloody Andy Carroll still popping up there and causing us heartache. He always seems to get one against us, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, he did it. He caused trouble, didn't he, when he was at West Ham in the title-winning season? I think he won the penalty and then scored it in that famous 2-2 game. But yeah, he's always a danger, isn't he? Especially late on in a game when they start just throwing the ball in. They've not done it recently. They've left him on the bench, and he's come on really, really late. They've been bringing, I think, Joe Willock, who's on loan from Arsenal, has been their super sub in recent weeks. Unfortunately, he couldn't play against his parent club against Arsenal, but he's come in with some decent goals, and they have got a decent record of scoring late. To be honest, I think I know we've got the best record, but I know over recent weeks they've scored some really late goals to get themselves points in a couple of games.
I don't mind having that record, but it would do my heart a lot better if we had the record for scoring early rather than late.
Would be nice.
But apparently, Joe Wilcox, he's one of their best players, and yet he's not even their player, TM, good evening. Sorry you're late. Well, like I said to last week when somebody was late, I hope you've brought a note.
Quite
from
right.
Your and I expect you to sort of send that over to me straight away with deepest apologies and a couple of cans as well. Rob, what's this one? Better get her round FA Cup final day then, Chris. Oh, I believe we will. I believe we will. I still can't believe it's next week. But anyway, getting back to Newcastle. Second week running, we've got a chance to go out and make a statement because we're playing first. Last week we didn't take advantage of that. And again, I think that proved the old adage that when a team goes down to 10 men, they can be harder to play against. That 9-0 was complete. I said to my son, because once they got the player sent off and it was 1-0, I went, right, this is going to be a tough game now. Yeah. And at the end of it, he goes like, "What was that tough game, Dad?" And I reminded him on Friday, there was the tough game for you, Again, we need the win as well because to give us that, because we want the other teams to be playing catch up still, don't we?
Exactly. As the games tick by, points in the bank are important, aren't they? Because it almost not demoralizes, but you know that when we watch a game and the chasing pack are playing and losing, the lift that it gives us, and I'm sure it gives the players that, and you're willing them to win. So if we go and get another 3 points, the other teams know that they've got to win just to keep up with us, and keep the gap the same as it is. So it is a real big opportunity to put some pressure on. Going back another sort of 7 points or whatever, 10 points over some teams with 4 games to go, that's a lot. You're talking about this weekend's games could take some teams out of the equation of being able to catch us if we get these 3 points. So it is important.
Yeah. TM, go on then. I'll forgive you this once. Just don't be doing it again, young lady. Don't be doing it again. I tell Craig off when he's late, don't I, Craig?
He doesn't.
David, and this is funny you mentioned this, David. All I hope for tomorrow is no ponderous build-up. It was infuriating to watch versus Southampton. Keep Newcastle on the heels if they are defensive. If they don't have speed, to be honest, so we need to be sharp. I was on the Spurs chat earlier. It is on now. That show is on our YouTube channel, Leicester Till I Die TV. Go and watch it. I give him a good reason why Brendan won't go to Tottenham. So I think they regretted asking me on actually. But the question that he asked me, and it's something the point you make there, David, is what, if anything, are you unhappy about Brendan? And I said sometimes it is the ponderous playing at the back and playing out from the back, and it can cost us because I don't think we're good enough at it yet. And we see sometimes, if we do like that in the Champions League, if we get to the Champions League, we are going to be punished. I'm just not a fan of playing it around the back all the time.
No, and it's frustrating because how many times have we heard Brendan after a game come out and say we were too slow in moving the ball in the first half and we picked it up in the second half, or we were too slow in moving the ball the whole time. But it doesn't seem to change. And it seems to have this theory that for me isn't working this year, particularly Johnny Evans, but I've noticed it with Soyuncu in recent weeks as well. That Johnny Evans just stands on the ball. We know that, he looks like he's posing for his Bobby Moore style statue.
He's not a bad header of the ball, though, is he?
He's not a bad header of the ball, but that one, what I'd like to see the next time he just stands there and puts his foot on the ball, that he folds his arm in proper Bobby Moore fashion. But Soyuncu's done the same as well, and they tend to want the opposition to come to them. But the opposition these days don't do that. What it gives them is time to go and sit back and get into a formation. Yeah. Soyuncu in recent weeks has been running out with the ball, but nobody's come to him. So what all it's doing is concertinaing the play. When he's got an early ball on to Thomas, the last couple of weeks he's done this, play an early ball and Thomas can get away, but he tends to run with it and the team just drop back into their defensive formation. So that's the biggest issue with me, that the release of the ball from the back three, it has to be quicker. Yeah. We saw it when they brought Mark Albrighton on against Southampton. I'm not sure he got a pass, during the game of any notes that was quick and allowed him to actually get at the back four of Southampton.
That said, we're in an FA Cup final. We're sitting third. We're 63 points. We're being picky to man. I did say that to the Spurs guys. I did say, at the end of the day, this is being very picky because nobody's going to, we're fans. We're fickle fans. If Pep Guardiola walked into the club tomorrow and said, I'm taking over, we would find fault with him. This is what football fans do. We are, but check that out. As I say, Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube. Give us a subscribe while you're there and have a look. It's under Leicester Till I Die TV away. It's all our away shows, and it's a bit of a laugh. They're good guys. They're a bit of a laugh. Scott's coming back at you here, I think, Craig. I'm going to have to disagree. Ooh, you're very brave, Scott. I've got to be honest with you. I think they have speed in the team, i.e. Wilson, Maxim, and Cimarron are relatively quick players. I just think they don't pass the ball around as quick as we can.
I think I'm not sure whether you misunderstood me, because two of those were the players that I picked out, and I did say that Callum Wilson plays right on the edge, so we would get caught out because he likes to play on the last man, and it is a danger for us, and we can't. So that's why I said we need to drop off, because they have got pace in behind. So I agree with you.
Yeah, going to say good evening to Retro. That's the Newcastle site, Retro NUFC TV. Say check his channel out. I was on his earlier, and you'll be able to see that on YouTube later on when it's uploaded. Jay, stay there, because we will maybe try and get you on for a quick chat later when we've caught up a little bit. So don't go away, mate, but do stay there. And I hope this doesn't make you too miserable that we're saying how good Leicester are while you're watching this. That said, I'm about to big them up, because looking at the current run, the current form guide here, they've actually got a better sort of record over the last 5 games than we have.
Yeah, they have. I mean, as I say, a couple of those were very good wins. A really good win against West Ham when. I'm sure Newcastle fans' hearts were in their mouths, and they were having a good old moan when they let go a 2-0 lead against West Ham. But to have the resilience to come back again, and what I would say is whether people like Steve Bruce, whether they like the style of football he plays, is one thing, but I don't think you could say that the team don't play for him. The amount of late goals that Newcastle have got, they definitely. Oh, thanks, Scott. They're definitely playing. They're definitely playing for Steve Bruce. As I say, everybody has their opinion on his style of football, but they are playing for him, and the number of late goals that they've got. That was a perfect example of a team who still had the desire not to sort of just feel sorry for themselves and take the point when they got pegged back against West Ham, but went again and got the winner.
And I think the same is summed up, I think, in that Liverpool game. I mean, I watched the first half for that Liverpool game, and I have to be honest with you, and this was something I said to the Newcastle guy earlier and last night. It was almost, I mean, they got that early goal, and had Liverpool's shooting been on target, it could have been 9-0 at half time. Jota himself could have got 4 or 5, but Bruce didn't. You would look at that, and it was it was just like popping your head up over the trenches and seeing like 20 odd tanks coming towards you, and he didn't seem to. He just seemed to be happy, just sort of to hold it on and block and hope they carried on missing. And I made this point earlier, is that I honestly think if Leicester don't do what we did against against say Palace and concede a stupid sloppy goal at the back, but that's always in the Leicester psyche that we can do that. If we can get an early goal against Newcastle, I think their heads will go down, and I think we could get 3, 4, 5 again.
I'm not sure. I'd like to think so, but as I say, in recent weeks, yes, they did give a lot of chances away to Liverpool and they didn't take them. And obviously, the longer a game goes at 1-0, the other team does start to believe. So I would say if we get one, I think the important thing is to get the second one. I know that sounds obvious, but to get the second one, and then it does become a bit of a mountain almost for Newcastle to come back, because I don't think they've come back from a couple of goals. But while they're in a game and you've got three players up front, St. Maximin, Wilson and Almiron, who are all quick, they are set up to play on the break. So the danger is obviously the teams that we've struggled with at home, West Ham, Fulham, they've hit us on the break. Even the Palace goal was at one on the break that we almost switch off. So I think it's really important. But they have got players who can hurt us. I just think if we are on our game, I think we will make chances. It comes down to whether we can take them.
Will we take them? Is this the game we're going to see Vardy get back on form?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I was really disappointed. I don't know. I replayed that chance that he had against Southampton over and over in my head. So God knows how many times he played it. You know, just thinking, can we have that moment again? Just lift it, and it's 3 points in the bag. We're all really, really happy. But he didn't. I think the number of chances that you take, the more chances you take, you create as a striker, you know, you are going to get some. I think he will get enough chances to slot one away. And, you know, maybe there's other players in the team that I've chosen who may get a goal as well.
We will see. We will see. I mean, that said, you look at our last five, and we have only won 2 of the last 5, but you know, let's put that on in perspective. The first one of those was Man City, and we basically, I think, like most teams, we tend to look at it and go, yeah, we're playing Man City now. That I know we beat them at the start of the season, but now that's a bit of a given, you know. West Ham, the same with everything that had gone on with the party and the players and what have you. Yeah. It was kind of, you know, again, almost a given. So I'm not surprised with that. We then had probably, to be honest with you, the easiest game I think we've had all season. I think that West Brom side that turned up were the worst team we'd played. Yeah. We came back against Crystal Palace, which was nice to see. The fact that when we do go down, and I mentioned this to you before, I think, Craig, like the old Liverpool side, there wasn't any panic there. Brendan didn't suddenly go into sort of, oh my God, hoof it up. He waited for the chance. You know, it was almost like watching a boxing match where you're slowly wearing the other team down, and 2-1. And I'm getting that. In Southampton, it was the 10-man, and you know, Huthenthal, I think, had learnt his lesson when he goes down to 10 men. Although that's, of course, now been rescinded. And I think if I take off my blue tinted glasses, I think it was probably fair that it was rescinded. Definitely. But I mean, I often feel. There's the odd game where we know we've had bad games this season where you're thinking, bloody hell, you know, I'll put my boots on and, you know, we could beat Leicester. But generally speaking, when we go down, I've always got a belief that we're not out the game, that we could come back and win it. And that was the last time I felt like that was probably the season we won the damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, you probably go back a little bit before that, you know, to the O'Neill years, maybe even back to Brian Little, but that's where the Foxes never quit came from. Yeah, you know, that phrase came from the fact that we were never beaten. We never felt like we were beaten, and there was always a late goal in us. I think the difference these days is that it's a belief in the process and a belief in the way that we play, that we have enough talented people on the pitch that we will make chances. And even though we didn't play well against Southampton, we still had 2 or 3 chances that we could have gone on and won that game. So, yeah, we don't panic. We stick with the principles. It does get frustrating sometimes when we all think there is no plan B. If there is a plan B, it tends to be further back down the pitch. It's definitely not a throw someone on up front and throw balls in the box. We don't have anybody we could do that with anymore these days anyway. But, yeah, I think, I don't know, it's difficult, isn't it? As a fan, we're also having to learn as well to be patient and believe in the fact that we have got the players to create chances, but it's not easy to do, is it?
And it is a different style of play because we keep going back, I think, as Leicester fans and going, but when we won the league, we played this way. And it's like, things move on, you know, like the playing out from the back is very much sort of the in thing at the moment. The one up front is the in thing. But I mean, this is what we've got coming up. And we touched on it earlier, you know, Newcastle tomorrow night, Man United. I think we've got Man United away. Yeah, Man United. We've got 3 away games technically, if you count the fact that we're the away club in the FA Cup. Again, Jay earlier, he said like you've got a really, you know, hard finish. Have we got a hard finish? Because at the end of the day, sorry, nearly took you out then, Craig. At the end of the day, we are 3rd in the league. You know, should we think these are hard games? Because Man United, we've beaten them once this season comfortably. Chelsea, and I do know they're a different animal now. Spurs, you know, they haven't even got a proper manager at the moment. We are the 3rd best team. We haven't been out the top 4 all season. Why should we think it's hard? We're just playing at our level now, or we're not?
Well, we are. I think it's a historical feeling of being a Leicester fan that you have that sort of inferiority complex. I was just going to say, I always like it when you put those graphics up, you know, seeing the badges, because I was talking about this at work the other day. It just reminds me of the old days of when I was a few years younger, and you used to get the old Texaco coins from the petrol station with the old club badges on. Anyway, that's an aside, and I'm just showing my age. Let's move on. We have that inferiority complex. You know, we always rally against the fact that there's a big 6 or a top 6 or whatever, but then we always think when we're playing any of them that they're tough games. We can't really have it both ways. You know, we've got to be thinking now that we're up there on merit, and they should be worrying about playing us as much as we worry about playing them. It'd be interesting to know, again, we talked about us getting 3 points over the weekend. If Man United win their game over the weekend, whether that puts them definitely in the top 3 or the top 4 with a Champions League place, whether they can start turning towards looking at the Europa final that they're definitely going to be in, and whether they start resting a few players. Maybe I'm just hoping a little bit there, but you never know.
Well, they have got, you know, like you say, Arsenal, they're technically out of it, but you've got, you know, Chelsea have got a Europa League final, a Champions League final, doing them an injustice there to come. You've got Man United have got a Europa League final. Man City, they've won the damn thing anyway. You know, Chelsea have also got an FA Cup final. They have got, you know, a few balls that they've got to juggle in the air.
Yeah, I know we've got an FA Cup final, but you know, we should be single-minded, particularly this week. And for the Man U game, for me, you know, we should be only thinking about the cup final after the Man United game is finished. You know, that's when you should start looking at it, because, you know, these are 2 big games. You know, 4 points from them. You know, I'd love 6. I'd really love 6. I think 6. These 2 games would see us home and dry, but I definitely like 4 points minimum from these 2 games. So he's got to focus on these. This is it. You know, the Champions League, we're at the business end. And, you know, somebody touched on it earlier about missing out on the Champions League does affect who we can buy over the summer. We're already hearing talks about this Robin Gosens from Atalanta hanging on and waiting to see whether we're in Champions League next season, because players will have other options, you know. So it is really important. So I think the focus has to be on these next 2 games before we even start thinking about a cup final.
Yeah. Scott said, I don't know if Jay's going to join us. I've sent the link, but Scott says, Chris, you said about a week ago, can we catch Manchester United? Well, after what happened at the weekend and their new fixture pile up, I believe it's 4 games in 11 days. I'll take your word for it, Scott. We've got 4 games in 11 days as well. So we are the same as them, as we said earlier, Craig. Although you did correct me, quite rightly correct me. We've got Friday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. You know, I don't think second is out of the window. You know, Man United are looking at the Europa League now, and either way, whether they win that or whether they finish second, they're going to be in the Champions League. But Ollie's, the pressure's on him. You know, this is the first time he's got past the semi-final. He's lost 3 or 4 before that. He's got to win something, so the pressure's on him. I honestly still think deep down, I'm not saying we will do, but I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility.
No, it's definitely not. You know, the fact is that I'm not sure how many points we are behind Man U, but the fact is, if we beat them,
funny you should ask that. We are 4 points behind them.
Okay,
so if we beat them. Technically, we're 1 point behind them, you know.
Yeah, and so if we just go out and win all our games, they only need to drop a point. So I think their goal difference may be better. But you've got to strive for that, haven't you? You know, you've got to strive for it. I think we're in a position now where we do have to live the cliche and just take one game at a time.
One game at a time. Right, well, let's just invite Jay, and he's going to pop in just for a few minutes to say how worried he is about playing Leicester tomorrow night. Good evening, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
All right.
You spilt something on your chest, by the way. You got something black and white on your chest. I don't know what it is.
It's black and white, yeah. It's a football team. Mostly black and white, you know, Newcastle United.
Yeah. Remember, guys, what I said last night. Subtitles will be available.
No, we are good enough.
Yeah, Jay, do you? I mean, I know you predicted a 1-0, but like we've always said, we can never predict score lines against that team. Can you see yourself winning tomorrow?
100%. Hell yeah. 100%. Every Newcastle fan I know, we're going to win tomorrow. We need to win.
But that's
confidence for you, isn't it? You know, and the thing that we hope here, I think me and Craig, is the fact that you never know what Steve Bruce is gonna do, and let's hope tomorrow he just makes a cock up of the selection again.
Probably will. You know what Steve Bruce is like? He probably change the side again, make it. I've been playing, but I want a better side tomorrow. Strong going forward, strong defense, and hopefully we can get the win tomorrow night.
And just remind us of your score prediction again, Jay.
1-0 all the way.
1-0.
Callum Wilson.
I don't know about you, Craig, because I said this to Jay earlier. Callum Wilson was somebody I thought we should have gone for in the summer.
I must admit, I wasn't sure. I wasn't overly impressed with him at Bournemouth. I thought he needed a lot of chances to score. As I said earlier in the show, I've been more impressed with him since he's been at Newcastle and the way that he's led the line. He's quicker than I thought he was, to be fair, and he does stretch teams. You know, he plays right on the shoulder of the last man. He needs to work on just holding it back a little bit because he runs offside so many times, but it keeps the defenders honest, as I say, and I've been quite impressed with him this season, to be fair.
Would you? I mean, we need somebody to replace Vardy to play alongside Inacho. And no disrespect to Jay, but you know, if they just stay up, there's a couple of their players, St. Maxim, Wilson, that if a club comes in, I'm sure Ashley's going to sort of, you know, grab the money and run sort of thing. Would you go in for Wilson?
I think it's a tricky one, isn't it? I think, you know, we don't tend to look at short termers. I know he's not old. He's not as old as Jamie. He's got a few more years in him. But I would imagine for the money that Newcastle would want, he would probably be out of the bracket. He probably needs another season. It's difficult. You know, he's not had a full season with Newcastle at the minute. You know, he's been injured quite a lot. but he has looked impressive. And yes, in hindsight, maybe he's somebody that we could have gone for when he was at Bournemouth. I think it would take quite a big fee now to prize him away from Newcastle.
Maybe we should just go for St. Maxim. I know you're saying, Jay, that he wants to stay, but
he wants
money talks. Money talks. Maybe he's trying to get a contract extension by saying that.
Probably will be. Yeah.
Jay, give your channels a shout out.
My channel, it's a channel about Newcastle that, passing retro to say, got Orchard, if you can say it behind me back. Retro to say, special needs kid who does football for a living. Football channel, if you want to know who it is, it's just on there. Retro to say, please subscribe to the channel, it'll be more appreciated. It made me so delightful.
Yeah.
And inside as a Newcastle fan.
I think what he was saying there, guys, is give him a follow. He's on Retro and UFC. We need one of those little women in the corner that's sort of doing all that, don't we? Jay, I'm going to have to move it on because I've got to wrap this one up, and then I've got another show at 8:30 again. I'd wish you luck tomorrow, Jay, but I'm serious, honestly, mate, I wouldn't mean it. But for the rest of the season, good luck, and I hope you get Bruce and Ashley out, mate.
100%, mate. 100% out.
Cheers, man. Take care. Stay safe. Speak to you soon.
Take care, man. Take care.
Thanks. Thanks to Jay for popping in there. Just giving his thoughts. Like I say, if any of you understood it, please write it down and send it in to me. He's a lovely guy, but I do really struggle, always have done, with the Geordie accent. Scott's just reminding me there, Man United do actually have a game in hand because of the Liverpool game. That is very true. Right, it's that time of the show again, and we're going to have to move things along pretty quickly now because, like I say, we have got another show coming up. But we are going to be looking at the team that Craig thinks Brendan will go for straight after this.
Leicester Till I Die TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
Indeedy. Right. He's in your squad, isn't he? Indeedy. Yes. That's not a spoiler alert. No. Got to ask you, though, is H in it?
Well, no, to be honest. I mean, let's not even go there. What? Just let's make the word of the day disappointment, shall we?
we could talk for an hour on this one, so I'm going to have to move on. All I will say, the last comment on H is, my God, he's let himself go since steps, hasn't he? Right. Sorry. Here we go. This is pretty much what you said earlier was the same team as last week, but with changes.
Yeah. Yeah, same team, but different.
Yes.
I think how I used to go for a 3-1 and just kept doing it until I got it right. I think I'm going to continue to put Ricardo back in this team until he actually plays. I mean, listening to Brendan's comments, I wasn't sure about Evans, but listening to his comments over the last couple of days, it sounds like Evans is going to be fit. There's no tear in the foot, apparently, so he's fit to play. He made encouraging noises about Ricardo, who's getting fitter, and he said he will be fit to play some part, and then went on to say that he's looked really good in training. So for me, I think Thomas has been a little bit disappointing. I know we're expecting a lot of a young 19-year-old, but maybe 4 games in a short period of time, maybe a little bit too much for him. So I've gone with a move to Castagna over to the left and bringing Ricardo in on the right-hand side. And the only other change is...
controversial one, I have to say. Controversial one.
Well, I think Rob touched on it earlier, didn't he? Yeah, for me, I was disappointed in Maddison. So I've put Perez back in there. I think Perez has done well when he's played against his old team since he's come to us. And for me, Maddison... The biggest disappointment for me with Maddison last week wasn't necessarily his performance, but it was his body language. He looked a little bit, not disinterested, but down. He seemed to be looking, when his shots were going wide, he was looking around as if it was everyone else. I was disappointed with a number of times he actually got on the ball or came looking for the ball. For me, he was a bit too happy to let the game pass him by, and I don't think he's in a position to be doing that. I think he needs to be showing us that, you know, he is one to build the team around, and he's not done that for me. He was disappointing. So for me, Perez, when Maddison was injured and Perez was playing in that little pocket, he did really, really well. And as I say, playing against his old team, I think it's worth a shout putting him back in instead of Maddison.
Well, all I will say is, again, I've spoken to a few Newcastle fans and Jay earlier, and I did actually offer Jay, I said, you know, come on, you're down at the bottom there. You know, you need some good players in the summer. Do you fancy having Perez back? And his answer was, thankfully, a bit, you know, not understandable, shall we say? But I think he basically was a no, you know. But they don't want him back. I don't know. I wanted to like him so much, and I just think for me, with Maddison, to be honest with you, you just don't. He can just. I mean, that goal. Let's go right back to the start of the season. That goal that he got against Man City. And let me just take your team down now. Otherwise, you can't see my beautiful features. There I am. I should be able to actually. And what I was trying to do there, when you saw me changing sizes and everything, was we should be able to bring a picture up and have us two at the side of it. And I don't know how that is. Why that is not working for me. But hey ho, you know. Maddison can pull off that one moment of, you know, one special moment that can turn the game. I can never say I would believe Perez does that, and I want to like Perez. I defended him so much, but he's a squad player for me, nothing more.
Yeah, but squad players have to play at some points, and you have to use squad players to put pressure on those who think they've got a God-given right to be in the team. You know, if you're building a squad, you know, then you've got to perform. You know, we've seen it. You know, you've got to be ruthless. Raheem Sterling can't get anywhere near Man City's first team at the start these days because he's not performing, and other players are. And what I would also say is, I feel that when Maddison plays, I'm not sure we get the best out of Tielemans, to be honest. Whether that's because whether that's because Maddison drops a little bit deeper, I don't know. But it's almost like Tielemans goes into his shell a little bit, and he's not on the ball as much. So I think there's a conundrum there that Rodgers needs to try and sort out. He'll have the same when Barnes comes back, and getting that balance right. But for me, I thought Tielemans, whether he's just the number of games he's catching up with Tielemans, but the last couple of games when Maddison has played, I think it's had a detrimental effect on Tielemans. And I'm hoping that with Perez playing, we'll see Tielemans play at the height of his game as well.
Like we always say, football is a game of opinions, and we don't agree always, and you are usually right, which I have to say is very annoying. But no, this is why we love love football, isn't it? We all have our own thoughts on it. It is Scott here. Thank heavens then. Think Evans and Tielemans should be rested. And Maddison seemed to be asking to come off after holding on to his hip and finding every excuse to come off. Who knows? Only he knows. Hubs wants a shout out. Good evening, Hubs. How the devil are you, sir? I hope you well. Hi, Hubs. Hi ho. It's off to the game we go. Bum bum. Right, it's you think my jokes can't get any worse, but yes, indeed. You keep thinking I've gone as low as I can with my jokes, and I keep surprising you and going even lower. Right, it's that time. It is that time for the old score predictions, and I keep hating to say that I am leading the prediction league, but I am. There's no two ways about it.
Someone who hates to say it, you say it a lot.
I know. And every time I hate myself for saying it, but I just can't, my therapist says it's good to share these sort of things. Right. So, unfortunately, Steve Walsh this week pinched my score. So because he's sort of in second, I had to go for something different just to try and get the 3 points off him. And here we go. Steve Walsh, 3-0. Steve Lynix 1-0 to Newcastle. He's agreeing with Retro there, but again, don't forget, Steve's only got one right. No, he's got two right all season, and both of those were draws. So he's still playing the old reverse psychology card there. Big Marsh has gone 2-0, and I've gone 3-1 because I kind of can see Newcastle doing what Palace did to us and sneaking a goal.
I can see the same, and that's why I'm going to go for a bit of a squeaky bum 2-1.
2-1. To be honest with you, Hobbs is saying, I don't want to shout out. Can you scream hi? No, I can't. If we go, Scott, if we're going off Craig's team, then 2-1 Leicester in a different formation to his. Peter Hides, good evening, Peter. Nice to see you. Thanks for popping on here. Pete Hides has gone 4-2 there. I thought you were going to go for 3-1 because I pinched it off you.
No, Chris, no, you're quite welcome to that one, mate. You'd already had to change. So it was nice that you couldn't go the same as Steve, but then you thought it was okay to pinch mine. But, well, I know my place. I know my place.
Craig Bird, Steve Walsh. Craig Bird, Steve, yeah. Daddy Chips. What can I do? I know it's time to go because Melina's appeared. So I do know it's time. Melina,
she's missed us. She's missed us talking up and the loving for Arsenal and the Europa League.
Indeed, she has. And I don't know, honestly, Melina, you carry on doing that, and I will be replacing you as a mod. I'll tell you, I've got them queuing up. David's going for a 2-0. Melina, I'm sorry to say this, but yeah, if you get through tonight, we want you to lose in the final. Sorry, and nothing personal. We just want Arsenal to lose because you ain't pinching our Champions League place from being bloody 10th in the table, I'll tell you. But either way, it's going to be squeaky bum time tomorrow. But thanks very much, Craig. It's been a pleasure having you on. Like you say, it is going to be squeaky bum time tomorrow. But wise old sage that you are, I'm sure you'll be close with your prediction.
Let's hope so. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, Chris.
Thanks very much. All the best, mate. Take care. So that is it. I'm off to do another show with a Newcastle site, the Tyne review, I believe it is. I can't keep up with it all, and we are here to say before we go, don't forget to give us a subscribe. Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube. We would thank you very much for any subscriptions. And later on tonight, if you want to listen back to this in podcast form, we will be on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Podcast Addict, and your favorite podcast platform. That's going to be a while off, though, because I'm nipping off to do this show. Thanks very much, everybody, for joining us in. Last couple of comments come in up, and Scott says, thank you very much. And Retro, we're all right for mods at the moment because I've also got Brad that does it as well. So we're fine, but I will keep you in mind for the future. Thanks very much, guys. I'm going to be back tomorrow at about 7:10 as we do the preview show. So I hope you can join us for that. And of course, afterwards, it'll be a late one. Get your carpet slippers and your cocoa out, your sleeping hat on for the post-match show, which will be about 10:15. It's a late one. And I need my beauty sleep because, as you can see from this, I'm not getting enough. Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you tomorrow night. Here's to the win. Take care. Stay safe.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all them social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.